Welcome to the Deep Dive, your quick update on the big moves in AI. We've got a bunch of articles here, and today we're digging into what really matters for you.
Yeah, and one thing jumps out immediately. There's this interesting split. 93% of data science folks, they see AI boosting their careers.
93%, that's huge.
It really is. But it clashes quite a bit with the, general public anxiety you sometimes hear about. That's a tension we'll see as we go through today's news, everything from new AI models, how businesses are using them, even specific AI hardware popping up.
Okay, let's dive straight into the newest models then. Anthropic's got the Claude 4 family out, Opus 4 and Sonnet 4. What's the headline there?
Well, Claude Opus 4 is the one making waves. They're claiming top-tier performance on benchmarks. And get this, it apparently managed to code nonstop for 7 hours.
7 hours, continuously.
That's the report. And it nailed a record score on the SWE bench. That's the software engineering benchmark. Pretty demanding test for AI coders.
Wow. That suggests a real step up in handling, well, complex programming work.
Exactly. That kind of extended autonomous work points towards more capable AI agents. And kind of an interesting side note from their technical report, apparently Opus 4 uses the cyclone emoji a lot when it's, interacting with itself.
Huh. An AI with its own favorite emoji.
Yeah.
Okay, what other models caught your eye?
There's Prime Intellect's Intellect T2. It's a 32 billion parameter model, but the really interesting part is how it was trained decentralized reinforcement learning.
Decentralized. How does that work?
It means the data generation, the model updates, the training itself, it all happens across a distributed network. So it's a different way of building these big models compared to the usual centralized data center approach.
Distributing the load, maybe making it more accessible.
Potentially. And staying with accessibility, Mistral released Devstral Small 24B. That one's open source and specifically built for coding tasks, another tool for developers.
Right. And Google DeepMind. They announced Gemma 3N.
Yeah, Gemma 3N is all about being compact and efficient. It's multimodal, so it handles different types of data like text and images, and it's designed for real-time use right on your device.
On device,
Oh.
okay. So speed, efficiency, and privacy are key there.
Exactly. Processing locally helps with all three. So we're seeing these super powerful models, but also this push towards specialized tools and efficient on-device AI. How's it showing up in the business world?
Good question. What are companies actually doing with this stuff?
Well, some pretty big moves. OpenAI bought a hardware startup, IO. Jony Ive's involved. They're planning some kind of new AI device.
Sony Ive, okay.
Yeah.
And they said not a smartphone or glasses.
Right. Explicitly something new. Could be the start of, a whole new hardware wave focused on AI.
Interesting. A totally new category. That's bold.
It is. And you've got established companies digging in too. Jack Dorsey's Block apparently has an AI agent building software internally. Reports say it's boosting productivity.
Building software.
Wow. Yeah, though there was an incident mention of it deleting some data, which, highlights the need for careful checks and balances.
Definitely. Power and potential risk, hand in hand.
Then there's Shopify. They're rolling out more AI tools for building online stores, AI shopping assistants. Their CEO basically said AI is now a fundamental expectation for employees.
So it's becoming core to how they operate.
Seems like it. And Google's got this thing called Jules AI agent.
Jules. What's special about that one?
It's described as a free, cloud-based AI coder that works asynchronously. So you give it a task, it plans it out, runs it in a virtual machine with internet access, and apparently generates quite a bit of code on its own.
Asynchronous and free, with planning capabilities. Sounds potentially more powerful than just code completion.
Reports suggest it can handle more complex prompts than, say, Copilot because of that planning step. We're also seeing broader adoption. Salesforce is partnering with Booge's Telecom on AI for customer relations.
Makes sense for customer service.
Yeah. But uptake isn't universal yet. An American Express survey found only about half of small businesses are currently using AI, even though they see the benefits.
So there's still a gap between recognizing value and actually implementing it.
Exactly. And in finance, specifically wealth management, it's taking off. 77% of firms say they're getting better decisions thanks to predictive analytics. You've got tools like Morgan Stanley's Debrief and JP Morgan's LLM suite crunching data for insights.
Okay, so AI is really starting to permeate everything: software, e-commerce, customer service, finance. What about tools for the developers building these AI systems?
Lots happening there too. Both Anthropic and OpenAI just pushed out major API updates.
Oh, what's new from Anthropic?
They've got several things in public beta now. A code execution tool, something called an MCP connector that's for agents to communicate a files API for handling data, and extended prompt caching. Basically, tools to make building AI agents easier.
Right, smoothing the path for more complex AI development.
And OpenAI updated its Responses API. They've added support for remote MCP servers, that same communication protocol, plus native image generation with GPU-4o, access to their code interpreter tool, and other features aimed at enterprise users.
So both are really building out their platforms, making them more comprehensive.
Definitely a competitive push.
Yeah.
And beyond the big players, you have platforms like Hugging Face and Gradio. They're really important for democratizing AI.
How so?
They let developers deploy and share their LLM applications for free. Gradio, in particular, makes it super easy to build interactive demos, get feedback, show people what your model can do.
Okay, lowering the barrier to entry, letting more people experiment and share.
Exactly. There's also the LangGraph platform, which is trying to tackle the complexity of actually deploying these AI agents, and something called SWE1 from Windsurf. They're aiming higher than just code generation, talking about redefining software development itself.
Ambitious. So models, business uses, developer tools.
Yeah.
What about the underlying infrastructure?
Dell announced its AI Factory. Their goal is to be a one-stop shop for enterprise AI infrastructure. Think faster data handling, lower latency for getting AI predictions back, making it easier for big companies to run AI at scale.
Makes sense. You need the plumbing too. And speaking of scale, what about identifying AI-generated content? That's becoming a bigger issue.
Right. Google's rolling out its SynthEye detector to early testers. It's a platform designed specifically to spot AI-generated content. A necessary tool, really, given everything.
Crucial for trust and, well, figuring out what's real online. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Let's look at the future. Anthropic's CEO made a pretty provocative prediction.
Yeah, Dario Amodei suggested the first billion-dollar business with only one human employee could show up as soon as 2026.
Wow. One human employee, billion-dollar valuation. That's a stark picture of potential automation.
It really is. Makes you think about the future of work, doesn't it? We also heard from David Silver, key guy behind AlphaGo. He talked about the era of experience.
Era of experience. What does that mean?
He's talking about a shift. Instead of just training AI on human data, the next step is AI learning through its own experience using reinforcement learning. Think AlphaGo or AlphaZero learning to play games better than humans without being explicitly taught human strategies.
So AI figuring things out for itself, potentially discovering things we don't know?
That's the idea. Moving beyond replicating human knowledge to actually generating novel insights through self-play or interaction with the world. We also saw more on multimodal AI like MemGraphRag. It's a system that can reason across different types of data simultaneously: text, images, audio. Think about searching patents that involve text and diagrams, or analyzing medical images alongside patient notes, or even enhancing e-commerce search with visual and descriptive data.
Right, connecting the dots across different formats, that unlocks a lot of potential. Finally, any quick updates from specific areas like sports or healthcare?
Yeah, briefly, AI is showing up more in sports. Motion capture for training analysis, personalized fitness plans, scouting talent, even assisting referees. Wimbledon and FC Barcelona were mentioned as examples.
Okay, performance and strategy.
And in healthcare, besides applications, there's a growing focus on security, making sure autonomous AI systems used in medicine are resilient against cyber threats. You need to trust them, right?
That's critical in healthcare. Okay, so summing up today, we've seen incredibly rapid progress in AI models. They're getting woven deeper into business and various aspects of life. The tools for creators are evolving fast, and these crucial discussions around ethics, safety, and identification are ongoing.
And it's worth circling back to that initial point. The optimism within the data science community, the people actually building and using this stuff, often contrasts with some of the broader societal apprehension. It's a complex picture.
It certainly is. Constant innovation alongside really important questions. So thinking about all this, here's something for you, our listener, to consider. Given how fast things are moving, what parts of your work or society more broadly do you think will be most profoundly changed by AI in the near future? And maybe more importantly, what questions should we be asking now to get ready for those changes? That's your takeaway thought for today. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.